Welcome once again to TV Toastmasters. Thanks for joining me. I'm your host, Linda Bard, Life Purpose Mentor at FindYourCreativeVoice.com. My guest today is someone who believes in a world where people can wake up and be stoked about the life that they're creating and living. Marli Williams is an international motivational speaker, event MC, master facilitator, and inspiration generator whose mission in life is to inspire and empower women to get out of their own way so that they can go from stuck to stoked. She does this through energizing presentations, rejuvenating retreats, dynamic programs, intentional workshops, and transformational personal coaching. She's also the founder and director of Camp Yes, the only adult summer camp in the Pacific Northwest for women entrepreneurs, leaders, and change makers. So, Marli Williams, welcome. Marli.
Thanks for having me.
You're
happy
very
to be
welcome.
here. Yeah.
So, facilitator, change maker, how do you get women from stuck to stoked?
That is a very good question. A lot of the things that I do is really around helping women cultivate their belief in themselves, right? And it's one thing to tell someone to believe in themselves.
Right.
Just do it, right? Like put the Nike thing on. But really, like, I think what I mean by facilitation and the art of facilitation, especially as a speaker who's wanting to convey a message, is creating engagement and interaction and experiences and opportunities for them to really like feel into, like, when was a time in your life where you really believed in yourself? So, and what was that like? And yeah.
Well, and I mean, empowerment is a huge topic these days.
Sure, very true.
For women in particular. And we have gone, it seems like, you know, each generation, each decade has gone through their empowerment phase, the bra burning, the this, the that. And this is really about more, because women have a lot of opportunities. They have been able to bring businesses forward. I mean, there are so many women entrepreneurs now. But what is that extra piece that kind of little extra push in the back that you're wanting to do around the empowerment piece?
I mean, I think a lot of what I see in my clients and the people that I work with is they may be, you know, like putting out their business or their message or their program, but not always feeling worthy of receiving compensation for that and letting people pay them for their services. And so I think a lot around value and self-worth and receiving. And I feel like that, to me, it's like I can have this idea and I can put this out there, and I also see a lot of women entrepreneurs really struggling financially, right? So even though maybe I have like this best, like really awesome branded website and I have fancy business cards, I'm on the struggle bus, like trying to get clients or try to build a business or try to grow this thing. And so I see that as opportunities to really unpack, you know, people's money stories, where they come from, but also just practicing receiving. And I know that this is one of those kind of overused words in this community sometimes, but it's like practicing alignment of like, I can't just put something out there if I don't truly believe in it. And so really aligning their mindset with their marketing and with their message of like, I mean, one of the favorite questions that I ask people is, who do I need to be to do the work that I want to do?
Absolutely. And that's where I think a lot of business owners and entrepreneurs especially, they get so stuck in the how. How do I do this? So, you know, and so they're buying all of these systems or, you know, programs that will supposedly get them to this place. But if they haven't answered the big why, and what, you know, why am I here? Who am I here to be? Then all of those things are kind of useless, because you can fill in the blanks, but they're not coming from that deep place inside of you.
Right. Yeah, and I think that women are so intuitive. And I was talking with someone today, I'm like, if you have a vision for something you want to bring into the world, an idea of a business, or that there's a reason for it, and to honor and trust that voice and that intuition and bring that out into the world. And kind of the work is around getting out of your own way, right? So that you can pursue that. But I think that one of the things that I do is really helping people clarify that vision.
Yeah.
And so one of the exercises that I do is kind of a future self visualization of where do you want to be 1 year from now, or 5 years from now, or 10 years from now, and really having that vision anchor them so that they get unstuck in the moment of the figuring out the how,
Right.
and figuring out, well, what is it that I really want, and who do I need to be, and what do I need to believe in order to, like, then if I believe that and if I know that, then the inspired action is just the ripple effect from the conviction that you have about, like, this is what I am put on this earth to do, and like ain't nobody get in my way. Like,
Absolutely.
let's do this, you know?
So I love, so there's almost like this thing of get out of their way so that they can play. And that is kind of what's behind your Camp Yes. So let's talk about that.
I like that. I'm gonna have to use that in my new my new tagline. Yeah, and so I think a lot of, as kids, we play naturally, and as adults we learn that we can only play when all the work is done, and all the work will never be done. Right. There's always more to do, which means play gets put on the back burner. But I think play is the space where we are creative, where we're innovative, where we have new ideas. And so to me, one of the reasons I created camp, I mean, it's really everything that I believe in, and community, adventure, nature, play, and getting out of our head and away from the busyness, the noise, the distractions, and inviting you almost into a different way of being. But it's a way that we were as kids. And so it's like inviting, like as kids, we were like, anything was possible. Yeah. And I could do anything, and I could be anything, and I was friends with everybody. And so it's really like that childlike wonder and curiosity, and inviting that way of being as an opportunity to reflect on where am I going, what do I really want, from wonder and curiosity, rather than from this pressure and anxiety of like, I need to have all the answers and I need to figure this out. And I think when people play together, there's a depth to that, and there's joy. And I think that that's what we're all after too. We all want joy and happiness and fulfillment. And it's like reminding ourselves of our capacity to feel that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, we come in with that capacity.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at a baby's face and the smile is nothing but pure joy.
Right.
So it's interesting because, you know, the one of the buzzwords for women these days is, you know, self-care, you know, make time for yourself and stuff like that. But you know, kind of replacing the word self-care with play is, it doesn't, you know, because sometimes people feel self-indulgent, right? Oh, I can't take time to get a massage or whatever. But everybody can take time to play.
Yeah. And it doesn't need to be that long either, right? So one of the exercises I have people do is to create a personal playlist. And one of those could be like actually songs on a playlist. But what I mean by a playlist is, what are at least 10 things that you can do, and what does play mean to you? So for some people, cooking is play,
right?
Because they get to be creative and they get to like put food together, and that brings them joy. Or it's being outside in nature, or it's riding a bike, or it's playing with their dog, or it's playing with their kiddo, and so really looking at first, like, what does play mean to me? And then I have people make a playlist and write down things, anything that takes from 5 minutes to 5 days. So 5 minutes could be like, I could have a mini dance party in my house. Or 5 days is, oh my gosh, I'm going to take a week off and go to the coast. Or maybe I have 5 hours and I'm going to block off Saturday afternoon to go hiking with a friend. But I think it's creating that time and that space, and realizing it's not this when I have time, but it's essential to our growth and to our joy, and really just creating that space for it. And I talk a lot about just this concept of giving yourself permission to play so that you can find joy in the everyday. And these everyday moments where, how can I bring more play into cleaning the house, right? I can turn on some music and like have a little dance party, or if I have a task that I need to get done, I can meet up with a friend to do that thing, or co-working, right? So again, it's like, how do I make the things that I quote unquote have to do more enjoyable?
Right.
Yeah.
And that's a big thing that I talk about with my clients, is reframing it from the things I have to do to the things I get to do.
Totally. Yeah.
So when is your next Camp Yes coming?
Yeah. Camp Yes is September 5th through 8th. And it's just an hour outside of Portland.
Okay.
So if you're local, that's awesome. But it's an easy place. If you're
come
not,
on down.
September in Portland is a
awesome.
Beautiful time.
It is absolutely awesome.
And it's outside of Vernonia, Oregon.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's very, very cool.
Very cool. So where can we go to find out a little bit more about Marli's world and all the great play times that you are creating for everybody?
There's two places. So one is my website, which is marliwilliams.com, Marli with an I, and campyesforwomen.com. And people can find me on Facebook, and I post lots of fun, inspirational videos to help remind you to play more in your life and enjoy the journey.
And you also have some Stoke quotes that are just amazing reminders for people to kind of pull one and have that as a source of inspiration for the day. So those are on your website too, I'm assuming.
Yep, stokequotes.com, or you can find them on my website as well.
Girl, you got all kinds of websites.
I can't tell you how many websites. I got a lot of websites. So I'll just give you those for now.
All right, well, we'll spend a lot of time checking those out. Thanks for being with us today.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us for this segment of TV Toastmasters. I'm Linda Bard. I want you to have a good evening and join me next time. Thanks.
Hi, welcome back. Good to be with you again. My name is Bill Mayer from New Horizons Toastmasters Club. For a few minutes this evening, we're going to talk to James Wantz, who is a member of the club, as well as in a district position. We're going to be talking a little bit about pathways, which is what Toastmasters International has formulated for people to excel in their teaching and leadership skills, similar to what we've done in the past. James, thank you for joining me this evening, and I hope we can talk a little bit about pathways.
Absolutely.
I saw you do a presentation just a couple of days ago, and I really appreciated a couple of the pictures that you had to describe the legacy, which was train tracks. We basically had a communications track and a leadership track, and that's very familiar for those of us who've been in Toastmasters for even a little while. But now Toastmasters is providing pathways, and you provided a picture of a ski area.
Actually, it was Mount Everest.
Mount Everest.
Now, there probably are people skiing on Mount Everest, but the reason I chose the image of Mount Everest is because there are many different ways to get to the summit. And in fact, that image had over 10 different paths that were shown to get to the summit. And I figured it was the best visual metaphor for pathways. Because in the new pathways, the new educational program, there are 10 individual paths that any member can choose one of those paths and proceed all the way through the 5 different levels.
Before we get to talking about the individual paths, I want to see if there's similarities between the legacy and the new pathways. And I've dived into pathways a little bit. When you start with the legacy system, you have the competent communicator, and then you get to the advanced manuals. And there's a lot of options with the advanced manuals. They've done away with, from what I understand, the competent communicator, and they've kind of folded that into all of the different pathways. Would that be an accurate description?
That is true. That is true. The Pathways program takes all of the pieces of the legacy educational program and folds them into the 10 individual paths, as well as liberally sprinkles in brand new content that we haven't seen before. So the icebreaker speech, which everybody is familiar with from the CC manual being the first project that they do, is still the first project in every single path. Because Toastmasters believes, and I also do too, that each time you do your icebreaker speech, you're learning something new about yourself. Whether it's your presentation, whether it's your, I don't know, how you're received maybe. So that the first speech is the same, and then people are going to recognize researching your topic, doing evaluations. All of those pieces are pulled in from the legacy program and are resident within Pathways.
How does one get started navigating Pathways?
That is one of the biggest changes for Toastmasters so far, because the legacy program was designed around manuals, actual manuals that we would use and take to our clubs. Pathways is designed as a completely interactive online environment. It lives on Toastmasters International website, so you can go to it on your tablet, your computer, or your laptop for that matter. Once you log in, you choose the Pathways and the Pathways educational program, and it takes you to what is called Basecamp, which is every single member's beginning point with their path and how they interact with an online curriculum. It's set up very much like the online curriculums that you have with colleges. Where people go in, choose projects, have assignments, finish those projects, and then have them checked off within Basecamp. The difference is that the entire interaction is in an online environment as opposed to printed material. Now, I'm a bit of a throwback. I want hard copy. And there is an option within the projects. You can print out the entire manual in a PDF format, and that's what I do.
Okay.
I download the PDF, I print it out, I take the hard copy with me to my club meeting so that I've got my paper, I've got my evaluations, I know exactly what's going on. Because I like the tangible feel of the paper in that regard.
I agree with you on that, and it does have a sense of security with that. Another aspect of the legacy system that I think there has some similarities with the Pathways is I do 10 speeches and I get another level of leadership or communication. Here I'm working for badges. Is it still 10 speeches kind of a thing?
It's actually much faster. Because with the legacy system, you'd have to do those 10 speeches before you'd be a competent communicator. With Pathways, you progress through 5 levels in each of the individual paths, and once you've completed a level, you receive the badge as a completion for that level. Well, level 1, which is the same for all paths, has 4 speeches and 1 evaluator role. So you give 4 speeches, you're serving as evaluator, and you've completed level 1 of your path. Level 2 then starts to take on unique characteristics of the individual path, and you start having specific projects that are related to which path you choose.
Great. Our time is just about up, and I thank you very much for your time in helping us begin to understand a larger picture of Pathways. And I have started. I'm looking forward to it. I think it really is a good adjustment for Toastmasters as we begin the 21st century in a new dimension to Toastmasters International. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
If you have any information that you need regarding Toastmasters or Pathways, go to toastmastersinternational.com, look for a Toastmasters Club, check out Pathways, find out Basecamp, and we hope to see you along your journey. Thank you very much for joining us.
Welcome to an opportunity to take the next step of your professional speaking journey. I want you to be honest with yourself. Have you ever wished you were a star in a television show or at an event where the media is interviewing bystanders and you are wanting to be picked to give your opinion of the event? Or even in the smallest sense, you're at a sports game and secretly hope that your smiling face would appear on that big jumbo screen TV. But the jumbo screen always finds the fans with the painted faces. And you think to yourself, maybe next time. Well, what if I can offer you a chance to be on TV? Would you take it? That is what I want to offer you now. I'm Dottie Love, Associate TV Producer and Director. Toastmasters International is one of the largest organizations whose mission is to help improve your speaking skills. And District 7 is expanding your opportunities to do speaking via television. We have 4 fully equipped television studios and TV Toastmaster broadcasts to over 500,000 homes, plus a YouTube channel. Who knew? We want to invite you to take advantage of using media and television, either in front or behind the scenes. Let me share a few options that you have. First, you can be a guest on a show. Highlight your business or hobby or your community interest. Anything you're passionate about. Be a featured guest. Secondly, you can train to be a host on an ongoing TV segment. We will train you for that. Third, what about creating your own talk show? We will train you for that as well and give you access to a community media studio to do just that. Or lastly, be behind the scenes, either running a camera or editing shows. You decide which avenue is best for you, and our TV Toastmasters team will help you to navigate to get the most out of your media experience. Personally, I've done them all. I started as a guest, went to hosting, up to directing my own TV show. I don't tell you this to impress you. I tell you this to impress upon you that your personal growth with Toastmasters is directly related to what you take advantage of. And I encourage you to be bold in looking for opportunities to stretch and grow. If this intrigues you, or if you have club members who you think that might be interested in this, please contact us here at TV Toastmasters. I'm Dottie Love, and you can reach me or any of us in the TV Toastmasters family at the contact information at the bottom of the screen. You can also find us on the web. Our website is 7512.toastmastersclub.org.
Hi, I'm Deb Hart. I'd just like to share with you how appreciative I am of being able to be a TV Toastmaster host. I get to share stories within the community, have people come on the show and educate the viewers, and talk about a subject that I'm very familiar with, and that's health. I encourage you to come aboard and be a part of our TV Toastmasters Host Club. It's fun. You'll have a good time.
Have a story that others need to hear? Seeking an audience for your message? Have an experience that can transform the lives of others? Practice your message and perfect its delivery in a TV studio while creating content for regional, national, and international exposure. That's right, get seen by an ever-increasing audience. Visit TV Toastmasters.
Ken Coombs here speaking about TV Toastmasters. As an area director, I see more value in that venue than perhaps some of you do, so I want to share that. Providing a televised voice for District 7, its clubs, and their members not only gives people a chance to come here and get a project ticked off that says speak on television, it gives contestants in an area contest or a division or a district contest at least a chance to come and practice and see what they look like. It gives people a chance to share an important message with the district, whatever that might be. So consider your next speech perhaps being on television. Not your 15 minutes of fame, but your chance to reach a broader audience.